couple of weeks after Festival of Power, which is round 2. We've got about 4 or 5 weeks before the next one, so we're in the unit in a minute. Just want to do a bit of an overview of the bike, really. Obviously, you've seen it on the track, you've seen the onboard videos of it. It doesn't mean you necessarily know what it is. So, okay, so the bike is a Suzuki TL1000R engine. It has been played about with. It's actually a 1040, this one, so it's a little bit bigger. And I think the head's been played about with a little bit. Nothing too major, but it's a little bit more pepped up than the stock one. See, it's a full tubular chassis. It's got a 7-inch rear slick in the back. Obviously, this is a wheelie bar bike as well, so it has a wheelie bar on the back. The front wheel will be off the ground when we leave, and it comes back down about when we touch second gear. You can normally see it in the videos, just kind of flicks the steering a little bit. It's got a drag race clutch in it, lock-up clutch, go into that a bit more. It's got an air shifter, which I want to show you as well, so that's a bit different. It's quite an old bike, really. Built in 2002, I think it was, so last year was its 20th year. It was actually built by a family friend to compete against my dad when he was riding his RD. So it's a pretty cool story, really, behind it. He retired it, really. Another family friend bought it, and then when I came out of juniors, he kind of offered it me. It's come from there, really. It's been a really good bike so far. So I'm trying to give you a bit of a walk around just so you can get a bit of a better look at it, really. So yeah, 7-inch slick in the back of it. I think that's actually an older Fireblade rear wheel. So the clutch that's in it, it's known as a lock-up clutch. It's more of a racing application. So as you've seen in the videos, I launch the bike and I just let go of the clutch. I don't need to feather it or anything like that, I just let go of it. And that's because inside the clutch cover it's got a lock-up clutch. And that's adjustable both with weights and arms and springs. So we can change how this clutch comes in. Obviously, if you tried that with a stock clutch, you'd either be on your backside or bouncing all over the place, especially with this being a wheelie bar bike. So a bit of a look at what I see as well. Not much going on. The screen's pretty dirty, but so we've got stock clocks. All I use on there is the RPM and the temperature. That's all I look at. Obviously, we've got kill switches, camera mounts and things. Gear indicator. Another thing we have up here as well is the lanyard. So that's hardwired into the bike, and that is then attached to me, obviously. If anything was to happen, I come off the bike, that pulls out, and that kills everything on the bike. So all electronic side will be dead after that, just to prevent it either running on the floor, or if it was leaking fuel, prevent it catching fire or anything like that. So something that I've had a few questions on is how we actually change gear when we're on the track. Because you can see that I don't roll off, I don't touch the clutch, and as you can see, the foot peg is a mile away from the actual gear lever. So that's obviously not the way that I change gear. I have had to before, but that's not ideally what happens. So we've got this system, it's from MRE, and it's called an air shifter. So basically what happens is there's an air ram attached to the gear lever on here. So we pressurise the system before every pass. I run mine at £130. Obviously that's the gauge on there, and then you've got the button, and that activates an ignition kill, so that'll kill the ignition for whatever you program it to. So you don't have to roll off the throttle, you just keep it fully pinned, and it also activates that ram to knock the gear lever into the next gear. So I keep it fully wide open, I don't need to let off the throttle at all, and I don't need to touch the clutch, and I also don't need to operate the lever with my foot. You can see on some of the videos, particularly before I had the fairing on, you can actually see the shifter working when I'm pressing the button, and that's the most consistent way of changing gear as well. And obviously this class is all about consistency. The bike was originally built for a class called Superton Top Gas, which was heads up, quarter mile, first to finish line wins class for twins, effectively. So anything with a twin, it can go in it. You weren't allowed nitrous, and I think you weren't allowed different fuels and things. You had to have a pump fuel. But that class is kind of died out a little bit. I did run the bike in it the first 2 years after I come out of juniors. So I won it the first year, and then I come second in the second year. We moved on to a funny bike after that, and then this kind of sat for a few years. We had a couple of years out, and then we came back last year, and I wanted to race this again. So kind of recommissioned it. The Superton class was not contested anymore. Those that were in it were in a class called ET bike, which is kind of the only class this would be competitive in currently. So it's a bracket style class. You can run up to 870 is the cutoff, and you dial in your own time. So it's not a heads up class. It's a way of making, like, this is a mid 9-second bike, and I can race against a 12-second bike or an 8-second bike, and both have equal chance of winning. So how that works, if you don't know, you might have seen on the start line, either my mum or my sister, she'll hold up a board and that's got a time on it. So in qualifying, you qualify on who's closest to your time, or you dial in. So when we went number one, the first meeting, I dialed in a 9:55 and I went a 9:55.2. So we were 2 thousandths away from our dial, and that was good enough for number one. Elimination day, so say I dial in a 9:50, and say I go against Phil Pratt, who dials in a 9:0. So how that works, I'll get the green light 0.5 of a second before he does. So I'll leave. He has to sit there for 0.5 of a second before his side of the tree counts down, and then he can leave as well. But then he's got to catch me, still get to the end first, but not go quicker than his dial-in. Otherwise, that's known as a breakout, and that's a disqualification. It's all about consistency. You need to be consistent. You don't need to be fast at all. You can win it on a 14-second bike. It's just a way of making it. Whatever you have, you can race, and it's not about who's got the most money to put the most parts in and go the fastest. Yeah, it's a good class. It's very varied. Obviously, there's quite a lot of bikes in it, quite a lot of different bikes in it. Brand new GSXRs to Suzuki GSX EFEs and stock Z1000s, and there's really cool bikes in there. And there's a few similar setups to this, tube chassis, slick and wheeler bar. There's Gary Hester, we raced last year and he came second in the championship. So that's a similar setup to this, but that's got a GSX 1100 motor in it. And there's obviously Blade this year, who's got, again, slick and wheelie bar, and he's got a high boost motor in it. And then there's Phil Pratt, who's always there or thereabouts. He's won the class since it's been a class. He's won it 5 times now, and he's on a street tyre GSX 1000. It's really varied. I think everybody's got a really good opportunity to win it. It's always really close. So yeah, so that's just a little bit of an update in between rounds, what's going on, and a bit more about what the bike is. So yeah, like I say, there should be some cool things coming out really soon. You might have seen as well an older video. Sister's got we bought her a dragster. It's a rear engine dragster. So obviously the build up of that I'll also video that, and that'll be some pretty cool videos. Yeah, it's an old Super Pro car. It actually used to run a Hemi. We're going to run a big block Chevy in it. And yeah, we're going to do the engine at my work, so that should be some pretty cool videos as well this year. And that should hopefully be out at some point this year. Other than that, we've got 4 more rounds of British Championship, so hopefully we can move up a little bit. So after the first round, we were 5th. So and we have moved up a couple of spots from round 2. So we're now actually 3rd. I'll put a photo up of the point standings as well so you can see. So yeah, we have moved up, but as I thought, Blade is quite far in the lead of the championship. I think he's about 700 points in front of me. I think me and second are quite close. So yeah, we'll just do what we can at the next ones. Obviously if we can beat Blade, that would really help us. But yeah, we'll have some fun, and hopefully we'll do alright.